This sentence Thursday. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit has vacated Ezekiel Elliott's preliminary injunction. Translated, Elliott's cowboy privileges are revoked until November 24th. He is suspended for 6 games between then and now. Elliott suspended for violating the NFL's personal conduct policy, that after the league investigated allegations of domestic violence by Elliott's former girlfriend. Statement from the attorney for Elliott said, "We are currently exploring all of our legal options and will make a decision as to what is the best course of action in the next few days. Until that time, we have no further comment on the Fifth Circuit's decision." All right, let's bring in our legal analyst, Ryan Smith. And what do Elliott's attorneys do next?
Well, I think he's got to choose between a couple of tough options. The first one is, does he try to ask the appeals court, the entire appeals court, to rehear this case? That's going to be a tough one to get them to do. Does he try to refile in Texas? That's going to be tough as well based on what just happened. So he might have to go to another court, perhaps New York, ask for a temporary restraining order, a preliminary injunction, ask that court to do what he asked Texas to do, to try to stop everything, let him play while that court decides to hear this case. I think it's an uphill battle for him at this point, but he's got to try something. I know he wants to get back on the field.
So legal offsides. When is it ball game on this thing? When do we get a definite decision?
That's going to depend on Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, at this point, he can just choose to say, you know what, I'm going to serve this suspension, and then that's it. If he wants to keep pushing to stay on the field, that's a different story. And then it becomes, can he do whatever he can do? Can he file in another court? Can he try to get back on the field? Ultimately, some court is going to hear this overall case if he wants to continue. And then when they decide the overall case on the merits, that's when this thing ends. But right now, for Ezekiel Elliott, I have to imagine it's about getting on the field in any way he can.
Ryan Smith. Court adjourned. All right, the Cowboys' next 6 games after the bye include a 3-game stretch against Washington, Kansas City, and Atlanta. That's the only time this season they're not favorites to win for 3 consecutive games, according to our Football Power Index. Just a 6% chance to go 3-0 in those. Good news is they don't face any of the top 10 defensive teams, according to our Football Power Index, which is stronger than your Football Power Index. Feature back, who's it going to be? Alfred Morris has averaged nearly 74 yards per when he starts in his career. That's more than Darren McFadden. He also has more touchdowns in a starting role than McFadden, though all those came in Washington. Can either of them duplicate Elliott's effect on Dak Prescott? This season, when Elliott's on the field, Prescott has a total QBR of 85. When Elliott's off, it's about half of that. His completion percentage also goes south to 43% when Elliott is off the field.